God bless you, beloved. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Spiritual Adults. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. You're special. God bless you. It's a joy to be with you again. God bless you. Please like us and subscribe, okay? Please thumbs up, give us thumbs up and subscribe and spread the word. Tell your friends, okay? That way, more people will be able to see us, okay? This is Spiritual Adults. We tell Bible stories. We tell Bible stories. I get to pick, I have the honor to pick the ones I like and, share it. Just like a party where we serve hors d'oeuvres, finger foods. Just grab what you like, what your fancy is, okay? We love you. Thank you. Thank you. Today, I just want to cherry pick the stories and bring them together. But this story, it's just how my mind works, okay? I look at the creation, how God uses creation in scriptures to minister to men, to sons of men, to mankind, in other words. So, you and I will read these things, but just because we're here on this in this fallen world, we don't pay attention to it. But God made the animals and the trees for our pleasure. He said so in the book of Genesis chapter 1. He gave us dominion over them. The birds of the air, the fish of the sea, and the animals and every creeping thing. He said they are ours to enjoy. But because of the oppression of the enemy, we don't enjoy them. So I just thought to bring those stories to the fore. There's a butterfly bugging the daylight out of me right now. But I'm going to forge on, okay? Pray for us. So I want to tell the stories, little stories here and there, and make a collage out of them. And I hope you like it, okay? So the first one I want to tell is 1 Kings chapter 17 from verses 4 to 6. And this is how God used a bird, the raven bird, to feed his servant. When you read the story, it's very interesting. It makes you scratch your head. Here is this powerful servant of God who has called for drought, no rain. And yet, you would think you'll be able to command filet mignon to come to the table, the best foods. But here, God Almighty is using a bird to feed them. So let's just see. So they said, the Lord said to Elijah, after he proclaimed there will be no rain, there's going to be drought. So God said, okay, God commanded, go to the east and hide by Cherith Brook. Then he said, drink from the brook and eat what the ravens bring you, for I have commanded them to feed you. They are all at the beck and call of the creator of the animals. I have commanded them, ravens. So they will be your servants, taking care of you. So he did as the Lord had told him to come beside the brook. The ravens brought him bread and meat each morning and evening, and he drank from the brook. Raven birds. Everybody know what a raven is. But God, who created that bird, gave him command, and he answered. And talking about raven, we see this same raven being used in Noah's time during the flood, when the ark landed on Mount Ararat. No, let me back up. Before it landed, Noah had to release the raven to go out there It says, after, this is Genesis chapter 8. Genesis chapter 8, I'm reading from verse 6. It says, after another 40 days, Noah opened a porthole and released a raven, a bird, the same raven. It flew back and forth because there was still water all over the earth. There was no place it could alight. So the raven became the instrument with which he wanted to test if there's still water all over the earth. Is there no world that time? Because all humans are dead. He's inside the ark. How is he going to know? God said, don't worry, I got you. Your feathered friends will come to the scene. And so he sends the raven. So the raven went back and forth, bringing information, making Noah know that all is not okay yet. It's not time. And if you continue, he said until the earth was dry. That raven kept going back and flew back and forth until the earth was dry. Can you imagine the work he did? The water was covered this earth for 150 days. And this bird kept on going back and forth. Then, after a while, he sent out a dove to see if he could find dry ground. But the dove found no place to light and returned to Noah, for the water was still too high. So yeah, he's using the dove. It was the raven first, then he brings the dove. For the water was still too high. So Noah held out his hand and drew the dove back into the boat. 7 days later, he released the dove again. And then in the evening, the bird came with an olive leaf in her beak. So Noah knew that the water was almost gone. Using these two birds for weather information. You know, we have satellites now, but before satellite, it was birds. I think it's interesting. And he said a week later, he released the dove again, and this time she didn't come back. Then Noah knew. Say 29 days after that, Noah opened the door to look, and the water was gone. So we see how God used raven to feed the prophet now as a weather gauge or weather information tracker, as I can put it, for Noah during the flood. Our feathered friends were doing the job because there were no humans to do it. And then the other one that I've said that before, it was the donkey, Balaam's donkey. God was trying to prevent Balaam to go do the work of King Balak. And so an angel stood, obstructing the animal. And here comes Balaam beating the donkey. And then the donkey spoke. The donkey said to Balaam, am I not your trusty donkey on whom you've ridden for years right up until now? Have I ever done anything like this to you before? Have I? And it's funny. And here comes Balaam. Balaam is replying the donkey. He said no. I'm like, how did he know to answer it? To answer the animal back. The animal spoke and he replied back to the animal, no, you've never done anything like this before. I find that very interesting, that they were able to carry on this normal conversation like it was normal. And that's the power of our God. Using animal to minister to man, to speak sense to a man. When he decides not to understand, man in honor and abides not. It's like the beasts that perish. So here you see the donkey talking. Then the next other one I want to is Jonah. You know Jonah, now you know the story of Jonah. When God said, go to Nineveh and preach, he just took a ship and went the other direction. and then God was waiting for him. In Jonah chapter, I think, Jonah chapter 1, verse 17, he said, now the Lord had arranged, the Lord had arranged for a great fish to swallow Jonah. He made arrangement. God, you see God's control over all of these things. The birds, now is fish to the sea. God had arranged for a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was inside the fish 3 days and 3 nights. God said, I'll fix you real good. And he did. He commanded the bird, arranged for a great fish. Don't play with God. That's what I'm trying. Don't mess. Creation is at his disposal. Then the last story I want to tell, I need to work with time, is the trees. The story that brought about this story is a sad one. Gideon, the mighty man who fought for Israel, when he died, one of his sons, he had with a concubine, killed all his 70 sons. And so here's the last one. Jotham is his name. And he's using an analogy. I hear a tree speaking. He said, once upon a time, the trees decided to elect a king. First, they asked the olive tree, but come be king over us. But it refused. And this is what the olive tree said. This is the olive tree speaking. Should I quit producing the olive oil that blesses God and man just to wave to and fro over the other trees? It asked. Then they said to the fig tree, since the olive tree said, no, I can't, look, I am made, they made me to produce oil. They use it, worshiping God, and then men use it. Not to come and just wave over trees. No, that's not why I was made. They know why God made them. That's what I'm trying to say. That's not my job. And then he said to the fig tree, you'll be our king. But the fig tree also refused. Should I quit producing sweetness? You remember fig Newton that we eat in the morning for breakfast? That's what I made. I produce sweetness and fruit just to lift. I'll take it again. Should I quit producing sweetness and fruit just to lift my head above all the other trees? It's asked. So they said, okay. The fig tree said no. The vine tree, the olive tree said no. Let's go to the grapevine. Then they said to the grapevine, you reign over us. But the grapevine replied, shall I quit producing the wine that cheers both man and God just to be mightier than all the other trees? That's not my purpose. My purpose, why God made me, is to produce wine that cheers God and cheers man too. Then all the trees finally turned to the thorn bush. You be our king, they exclaimed. And the thorn bush replied, if you really want me, come and humble yourselves beneath my shade. If you refuse, let fire flame forth from me. Let fire flame forth from me and burn down the great cedars of Lebanon. What he saying, you know those thistles. They're quick to combust into flame. They catch fire easily. They can't stand on their own. They're just down there. But if you strike match, they burn quickly. He say, if you people are not sincere, you're trying to play with me because I'm small. The biggest tree, cedar of Lebanon, I'll burn it down. So I find this interesting. Yeah, you see all this creation of God, nature. They all have their little attitudes. I know why I'm made. I'm supposed to, produce wine. I'm supposed to produce oil that they use in making, serving God, and men, enjoy it too. And grapes, wine. Everyone, they know their purpose, and they were all saying, That's not why God made me. But you see how God used all of these things to minister to mankind. My takeaway as I look at this, they minister to God, they minister to man. God is powerful. Every creation, up to look at trees, animals, they're at his disposal just to make us, because of his love to us. Just enjoy those stories and see what you can get out of it. I think they're interesting. Thank you for watching. See you next time on Spiritual Delves. Bye, darling. God bless you.